Hi there, this is Ben the Tutor, and this video is how to complete the square. Now, the first question is, why do we want to do something called completing the square? And the answer is, we're thinking about quadratics, and we like quadratics that look something like this. And the reason is, we know how to graph this really easily. This negative one here and this positive one here tell me where the vertex is. This says it's one to the right and one up. Now, if I have a quadratic that looks something like this form might be easy to look at as a polynomial, but it's difficult to graph. And the reason we want to complete the square is because we want to be able to graph this. So what we want to do is turn it from this form into that form. And that's the magic of completing the square. So that's why we would want to do completing the square. Now, how? How do we do completing the square? Okay, just a few steps. The first step is to take these two together, the x squared and the x, and factor out any number in front of the x squared. There's a 2 here, so I'll factor out 2, and I get x squared minus 4x, and this number, the plus 2, just hangs out on the outside. Okay. Now, the second step is maybe the hardest step to do, but once you understand it, it's fine. I need to add a number. I'm going to go plus and leave a little space there. And the number I need to add is determined from this guy. And what I do is I take this number, I divide it by 2, and I square it. In this case, it's 2 squared, which is 4. So in this case, it's actually the same number. And every single time I take this number and I add the number divided by 2 squared. Now, I'll explain why in a second, but that is what we do. And we also have to minus. So I'm adding something, and I need to do minus of that same thing. And this is 4 times 2. And because it's inside the brackets, it's times the 2. So I actually need to minus 8 to counteract adding that 4. So now I have this. And plus 2 minus 8, so I can go minus 6. And this is now, magically, I can factor it, which is what we want, because this is x minus 2 times x minus 2. If you FOIL that, you get x squared minus 4x plus 4. And this is y x minus 2 squared minus 6. And now it is in the form that I want. That tells me the vertex would be 2 to the right and 6 down. Okay, now let me just explain a little bit about choosing this number, because that's the hardest bit. You know what to do. You go divide by 2 squared. And the reason is this. I want it to look like that form, and I have this form, something here. And whenever I go square, like this guy, I get x minus 2, and then I FOIL that x squared minus 2x minus 2x plus 4, x minus 2 minus 4x plus 4. And so, whenever I'm wanting to put this into a form that can go backwards like this, I need a number that matches this. And the thing that'll make it match is always divide by 2 and squared. That's what I need to do. Okay, let me do one more example. Okay, how about this? 3x squared plus 18x plus 3. How about that? Okay, so step 1, I factor out the number from x and x squared, so that's 3. I get x squared plus 6x plus 3. Step 2, I add the strange magic number. And how do I get the magic number? I go 6 divided by 2 squared. So that's 3 squared, which is 9. So I add 9, and I have to take away opposite what I did. So I added 9 times 3, so I need to minus 27. So now I have 3x squared plus 6x plus 9. So that's 3 minus 27, so that's minus 24. So this is 3 what? X plus 3 squared. So if I had x plus 3, I would get x squared plus 3x plus 9. So that's x plus squared plus 6x plus 9. So that's the same thing as that. Minus 24. And now this is in the kind of form where I could graph it. So that's 3 to the left and 24 down, opening upwards parabola. All right. I hope you found that helpful.